Hello everyone, this is John S. Rhodes of the Rhodes Brothers. This is Greater Wealth Through Mastery. The topic of today's short talk is eat more protein, sugar is poison. Now, I'm going to dive right in to two systems, so pay close attention to these very, very basic steps. We begin with, why do people eat junk food? Why do they eat garbage? Why do you find that terrible processed food is entering your body? And why are you eating so much sugar? Maybe you're not, but maybe your friends and family are. Maybe you see other people doing this and you want to help. Well, it's very simple actually. It's easy access. It all comes down to having access to horrible, horrible food. Now, why is there easy access to terrible food and loads of sugar? Well, the primary reason is that it's inside your home. So what is the solution here? Well, don't bring junk food into your home. Why? Well, if you don't buy it and you don't have it, then you can't eat it. So the solution is really quite simple. If you want to eat more protein and you want to avoid sugar, simply don't have it in your home to begin with. That's the number one culprit. So how do you do that? If you go to the grocery store, you want to, of course, avoid the center aisles. Work around the outside where you'll find much healthier food, especially protein. Okay, you want to have a shopping list, of course. So before you go, just plan ahead a couple of minutes, or even better, put together the shopping list throughout the week. Take the shopping list and, to the best of your ability, stick to that shopping list. And another little tip here about going shopping and making sure you get maximum amount of protein and avoid the sugar is just never go shopping when you're hungry. At a minimum, load up on a lot of water before you go, right? H2O, throw the water down, and that will help if you don't have any food available to you before you go into the grocery store. So that's number one. So system number one is not having that food available. And the way that you make it not available is you go in with a plan, you go in full, you stay on the outside, and you pick up protein, 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 and minimize the sugar at the source, which of course is going to be at the grocery store. The problem is that sugar doesn't just magically show up. Now, it might happen at work, it might be at a birthday party. Those are really generally the exception. So it really, really starts at the grocery store. And that is under your control, even if other areas of your life are pounded by sugar and simple carbohydrates and garbage food. Okay, well, how about system number two? I'm excited about system number two because people do not tend to talk about system number two enough. And I really think they ought to. So system number two, well, how do I avoid eating crap food that I happen to have in my home or that's around me? Obviously, if you can eat a bunch of protein, that's awesome. If you're out and about, or if you happen to go out to eat somewhere, just load up as much as you can on the protein ahead of time. But very specifically, if there is sugar and crap and garbage, grab loads of protein and prioritize the protein. So very, very specifically, start your meal by eating lots of protein first. Don't snack, don't have the appetizers, don't have anything on the side. Load up on the protein. Eat the protein with focus, deliberately looking at the food, eating it, watching the protein go into your mouth, savoring every bite, and eating very quickly. Don't choke yourself, but kind of wolf it down. Get the protein into your gut. treat it like a fun job. If you're hungry enough, the food, the protein in particular, will taste very good, even with light spices. You could just salt the meat, for example, and that's going to work really, really well for you. And I also suggest, as you're eating and you're like, oh, I need a break, guzzle down water. Be drinking water, right? So have the H2O, throw the water down while you're throwing the protein down, but as much as you can, throw the protein down, and if you take any breaks, be drinking water. Fill up on protein and water. And once you've had as much protein as you can tolerate, and you're starting to get full, and you've drank a lot of water, then it's a good idea at that point in time to sort of come up for air. Talk to people, perhaps even get up and go to the fridge to get another drink or more water. Find ways to distract yourself, to let your mind catch up with your stomach catch up with your mind. But by distracting yourself after the protein and water, now you're full and you start to actually, for real, feel quite full. Okay, so those are the two systems, and they're very, very straightforward. Again, eliminate access to crappy food. Load up on protein, stay on the outside of the grocery store. Don't go down the center aisles as much as you possibly can. Very, very important. Okay, and just don't buy that food. Don't bring it in the home. If it's not in your house, then you don't have access. And then second of all, as the quick recap, load up on the protein, eat it fast and furious. Don't go nuts on that. Don't choke, of course. And also throw down a lot of water. So when you throw down that water, it helps an awful lot as well, especially if you've salted your food. And distract yourself a little bit after that, and then come back, and only then start having other food that you have made for yourself. And perhaps don't even make that food to begin with. And that is what I've done. Those two systems have really, really helped me out in terms of my eating. There's obviously exercise, but it's more important for fat and weight control and leaning down and staying lean. It's much more important what you're eating, and not so much how you eat it as much as what you eat. And then exercise is a much smaller percentage of making that all happen. It's very difficult, in other words, to overcome poor eating with exercise alone. People think you can do that, but in my experience, that has just not been possible. So what do you think? Does this match up with your experience? Why and why not? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for that. And please send this along to someone who you think might benefit from its message, because it's people like you that help refer and grow this channel, which is beneficial to everyone, as you know. As always, the Rhodes Brothers do appreciate your time and energy and support. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you in the next training. Take care.